What is this? Okay. Now,
Okay, I think we're ready to start, inshallah.
sure.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali kulli wa sahbi kulli ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa akhlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Welcome to another session of exploring the treasure of the Quran together, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we have benefited tremendously so far, and so we're going to continue our journey. Yesterday, essentially, we focus on the sign, and we reflect on a few ayah on this one, and saying that everything in the universe are the signs, and or they are in a way the speech that we are supposed to listen. And we reflect on three ayah on this, and so we're going to, inshallah, there was one more ayah. We're going to reflect on this and try to provide, inshallah, further Quranic evidence on how we're supposed to look at the creation and how we're supposed to establish connection with Creator through His signs in the creation. So we've seen a very good dialogue and interaction in WhatsApp group. So it's in a way, it's like another parallel session, I guess, in terms of its richness and interaction there. So please keep doing that every day after the session. We open WhatsApp and let you speak your mind and exchange your ideas on the subjects. Yes, Dr. Ali, let's start, inshallah. What are those pictures? That what is your message in those? I don't know. Did you have any? Are you just getting driver license?
Yeah, I have a share in this company, so I want to benefit from this opportunity to make the advertisements or marketing. Now, first of all, I was extremely happy to see that after the discussion, after the class or our uh, discussion here, our friends are heavily engaged in the conversation. Beautiful uh, thoughts and concerns, questions are shared. I just wanted to share with you now two questions that our friends ask. There are many. All of them are important, but these are more practical. Now, a friend is asking how an inanimate being or a mountain or a cloud or it is snowing here and snowflakes make tasbih. And I said, that's a legitimate question. And not only this brother or sister, I don't remember, or our friend in general, uh, is wondering about it, but I think everybody wonders about it. And some people even may say no. So I said, we have to understand that tasbih is glorification, exaltation, or declaring what they have in their mind, in their being. Yeah, how about the inanimate beings are declaring? Every creature, every being in the world, the way they are created, the way they are given the abilities, they, in their existence, they exclaim it, they demonstrate it as if let me say again, a book or I love two or three examples, the piece of art example, book example, and anything of the bird, flower, butterfly, whatever examples. Now, anything from the universe examples. Now, here, let's say a book declares or makes tasbih of the knowledge of its author. A piece of art declares the quality of the artist, and everything declares in the way, I think this is the key point, in the way they exist, declares the qualities manifested in it of its creator. So this is their tasbih. Well, inanimate beings make their tasbih according to proclamations, according to their capacity that they are created with. Animals, plants, and but human beings make tasbih what? With my bodily existence. And also I have been given senses. So animals declare the qualities of their creator in the way that an animate being, for example, they make noise, they have some qualities, communicate with each other, etc. All this way, they are demonstrating that they are created. Oh, this is not the point, but here is a car. Car is declaring the qualities of its engineer. Now, this is the declaration. But human beings should understand, conscious beings should understand this by using their capacities, their intellect, their quality, their consciousness, their feelings, and also they are given the ability to speak with the tongue. So we have to make tasbih by understanding intellectually what the beings out there are declaring. And my comprehension of their declaration is my tasbih. And also my feelings. I am happy. It is a tasbih. I understand this. I am a conscious being. So my intellect is aware of it. I say, this is declaring how wonderful is my creator, how wonderful my creator is. And then he arranged me in a way that I am experiencing my own existence. Last, we have to use our tongue. And inshallah, we will talk about how to declare Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, whatever admirations, and I'm sure uh, Dr. Najati is going to give more examples of it, inshallah, later on. So this is one question. Would you like to
Yeah,
follow
I
any?
think I want to briefly mention this tasbih. It's very important concept in Quran. Sabbaha, yusabbihu. A lot of times mention that, and we yesterday when we reflect to sabbihu lahu sab'a samawatu. So we reflect on this ayah. So in that case, the key, the question is really how we're going to understand this tasbih. You give very good example, just practical example. Well, let's say if I tell our listeners that I'm great an artist and you like the art example, my art skill is hidden to them. But as soon as I get this paper and start to draw a great art, now my art skill will be revealed through my artwork on the paper. So I don't need to say anything when they see my artwork. Let's say if I'm drawing a tree, when they see it's an ugly tree, they say, oh, you don't have a good art skill. When they see it's a beautifully drawn tree, they will say, oh, you must have a very good art skill. So in this regard, that essentially to speak is a way of, I like your phrase, a silent speech, that everything speaks about the creator and telling about the attribute, the quality of creator. So in this regard, the flower will say, my maker is all beautiful. By its perfections, my maker is all wise. So that is tasbih, and that's how we should understand.
Yeah. The second one, it is a short one. One of our friends is asking, our scholars keep asking us to believe in the stories of the prophets mentioned in the Quran. They really happened. And he says, I don't know. I haven't seen them. How can I confirm them? I don't know who Moses is. I have no idea. Quran only says that Moses and Pharaoh had an argument. Whole long story everywhere in the Quran. This is a beautiful story. And how can I believe in it? And now I would just say that these stories not only to believe that they are created, they existed in the history, the Quran is narrating to us, but the purpose of the Quran to narrate these prophetic stories is not only that you have to believe that this kind of events happened in the past. No, no, the purpose is directly giving the message to us and making an, if you like, presenting us a scenario which existed in the past and putting ourselves into the scenario and understand that my creator is giving this example to me. So, in the case of this event, I have to behave in this way. In the case of this event, I have to behave in that way. And we will, inshallah, in the course of our studies, we will have time to study how we should benefit from the stories of the prophets.
Very good. Excellent. So essentially, we're supposed to look at the Quran as a guide. Through its light, we're going to see the sign of Creator in the creation and make connection with him. And we mentioned, many examples yesterday, but given its importance, I think there are more verses. So let's hear those and try to reflect on that to see how the Quran refers to the signs in the creation and attract our attention to see them.
Yeah, excellent. So, I think it is time to ask Dr. Nejati, what is it to do with this discussion, with this driving school advertisement? Do you wonder why? Would you like to ask?
Yeah, I thought that you're just gonna mention about the car only, so it seems like you're gonna advertise the driving school as well.
Yeah. So, can I ask you a question, Dr. Nejati? The first time when you started driving, did you get a course or I attended a driving school and learned from there. Did you as well?
Yeah, it has been a long time, I guess. Yes, I think it was through the training, school, driving school,
No, can I ask you, why did you go there?
because I didn't know how to drive. I
Ah,
want
what?
to learn.
No. No, okay. Do you still go to this school?
No need anymore.
No, what are you doing now? Since then, you
Keep
have been
driving.
driving.
Yes, driving.
Yeah. All these traffic signs. Do you see some of them say stop, some of them are speed limit, some of them is the detour. I don't know, you cannot turn right, or this one says, red says stop, don't drive. You learned all of them.
Correct.
And now you have been living with it. You have been practicing with it. I thought today that for a relaxed discussion, heavily concentrating on the verses, why do we need to go to to take a lesson from driving school? We have to learn how to live our life. And throughout our life, we have to practice it. How are we going to practice it? in the way we will see lots of signs in our life. And we learned now, this science says, stop. The science says you have to take, you have to be very careful. The roads are slippery. So danger, keep out. For example, you cannot make U-turn. Now, it may seem to be when you read the Quran and the life of the Prophet, I understand that every prophet, but especially as far as we are concerned in our age now, the age of the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, was a driver's driving school, teaching all the new generations, the following generations, and also us, how are we going to live in this world? Every sign means something. Now, everyone must wonder among us, the 5D thinking, Islam from within, we keep talking about importance of the creation. Keep talking about it. They may say, I think they are giving more importance to the creation, to the universe or existing beings here than the Quran. No, we are not. We are just saying, look, Quran teaches me how to pay attention to the traffic lights in my life. And while I am now, after, as Dr. Najati said, he is not in the school, but practicing it. Of course, you have the knowledge, information about all the meanings of the signs, traffic signs. You are practicing it. I believe that the traffic signs, in my simple example analogy, everything I encounter in the creation, I have to apply the message, what I learned from the Quran, practically put into my life and practice it. We live with this consciousness. You may not aware, you and I also drive, you and I may not be aware that we are applying what we have learned. When we see any traffic light, we say, it means this, it means that. So we have to educate ourselves with the teachings of Revelation, with the teachings of the Quran. We have to see we have to take the training in the driver schools of the prophetic era, first era, and apply it in our life, throughout our life. Everything is a traffic light to me. Everything. They have a meaning, and that is why it is a lifelong journey. And in this lifelong journey, we are going to practice in the universe what we are learning from the Quran. But of course, we keep learning from the Quran because this is a simple analogy. So we should keep learning from the Quran.
Dr. Ali, I think this is, very good in a way to see how we can link to our daily life. The way I look at it, I'm now 53 years old. I look at the life is very difficult to really travel through those, events, and unless you have good guide, unless you understand the sign, unless you make connection with creator. As a matter of fact, I began to gain this habit that I begin my day every day with Quran because I consider the Quran as the sun, like give me the light as I travel in my daily journey. So, and I think in this regard that your examples of looking this as not the study that you only do, let's say, a certain time, looking at this as some things that you take it and practice it, I think is very essential. This remind me when the companion they were learning the revelation, they will take 10 ayah each time, go we learn, internalize, try to practice, and go back again, ask for the new ayah. So which means that the purpose of studying the Quran is to convey them to our life and become part of our practical daily life.
Yeah,
As you know, mentions like a gaining driver license and then just do it every day.
yeah. Because this is an worldly example, analogy, just to see that in our life we have endless signs we have to act and understand the meaning of these signs. Now, why it came to my mind? Because the ayah we are going to study today is saying something uh, uh, very important. Now, very briefly, I will go over these verses. Very briefly. Now, let's go for this verse and try to connect our subject, inshallah, to what we had in the analogy. Now, let's listen to the recitation of the ayahs.
فإنك لا تسمع الموتى ولا تسمع الصم الدعاء إذا ولوا مدبرين وما أنت بهاد العمي عن ضلالتهم إن تسمع إلا من يؤمن بآياتنا فهم مسلمون.
Now, sorry. You certainly cannot make the dead hear the truth, nor can you make the deaf hear the call when they turn their backs and walk away. You cannot lead the blind out of their error. The only ones you can make hear you are those who believe in our signs, messages, and surrender themselves unto us. In this ayah, those believe in our signs attracted my attention. And of course, we keep talking about everything in the creation. Every existing being in the creation is a sign. It is a message from its creator. So that is one meaning of ayah in the Quran. Everybody knows it, but just I will mention it briefly. Another meaning of ayah is the verses of the Quran, ayat, no, sentences of the Quran. Another meaning of the ayah is miracles of the prophets. So if we do ignore the universe, the existence, and only look at the word, this ayah, from the perspective of uh, historical context, that uh, we will say the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, was reciting the ayahs and they didn't really want to hear. They turned their back and walked away. Correct? That happened. That is not really imagination. No, that really happened. But now I have to see the signs in the creation. It is always with me. It is always with me. So if someone doesn't take the driving school course, he will never ever know what to do on the road. But uh, he doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to hear. So he will have trouble in their life. They will have lots of accidents because they don't have the guide. They don't have the knowledge how to lead the life. But Now we have to say this signs, the word in the Quran means at the same time, as most of the, we will study a lot of ayat, most of the time referring to the creation. And that is now, when I read this ayah, I should understand that I should believe that the creation is a sign as well. If it is not a sign from uh, the Creator teaching me through silent speech by creating, demonstrating His qualities, I can only say, no, I'm listening to the Quran. We listened now, finished. Now there is no practice. So I have to bring the creation alongside with the Quran and benefit from the Quran continuously, refresh my mind and go deeper and deeper into its meaning. But at the same time, I have to see that the universe has a function. Universe has a purpose in its existence. That is why we have to read the Quran alongside with the creation. That is why we have to emphasize on the importance of listening to the ayat, but at the same time living with in the universe and seeing the signs manifested in the universe.
Very interesting. So I think we see a similar ayah in the Qur'ans than referring, those who do not believe, summun, bukmun, umyun, they are deaf, they are blind. Here, the key part here is essentially saying belief is a matter of choice, but is also if they want to believe, then they need to pay attention to the sign. It's not just it's not the leap of faith. You hear from Quran, you accept it. Actually, it is based on affirmation and based on the evidence you observe and you submit after that. So therefore, the ayah is saying that we reveal the signs, but if they're close their eyes, you cannot do anything to them. So it's their choice in this regard.
Yeah, if they don't want to attend and learn from the driving school, they have to have accidents in their life, inevitable, inevitable. At the most, they have to really feel meaningless, purposeless, just a lump of meat and bone or blood. And one day will come and disappear from existence. Now, in other words, shall we move to the other one?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, here. The other one is, hmm, what's that? Ah, yeah. No. Did I do something wrong? I did something wrong. Let me read it. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وكأي من آيات في السماوات والأرض يمرون عليها وهم عنها معرضون وما يؤمن أكثرهم بالله إلا وهم مشركون. Allahu Akbar. Another shocking ayat again. Another shocking ayat. It is this ayah, two ayat verses are from the Surah Yusuf. We think that the Surah Yusuf is just telling a story of Yusuf. Of course, it is beautiful. It is life story. Everybody's life story. Everybody's life story. Inshallah, Allah will give me life to study Surah Yusuf with our brothers and sisters here. Inshallah. But look at the ayat there. So that is the Quran. Quran intermingles in between, for example, do this, don't do this, and suddenly comes an ayah, changes the subject, goes into belief matters. Suddenly, stories of the prophet suddenly change, drawing attention to understand and benefit from the creation as well. So this is one of them. So ayah says, and there are many signs in the heavens and the earth that they pass. Now, when they see, they are like traffic signs you see, and turn their backs to them in the creation. Yeah, there are many signs, ayat, fi samawati wal ard. We cannot say that the Quranic ayat fi samawati wal ard. This is obvious referring to the creation, samawat wal ard, the heavens and the earth. And we all pass through. But Quran says, if you turn your back to them, what happens? And most of them don't even believe in God. What? If you turn back, if you turn your back to the signs in the creation, Quran says, وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ. They don't believe in God. Without illa, ascribing divine powers to other beings beside him means shirk. Everybody knows the word shirk. It means giving and attaching important qualities to themselves. Even they may say, God created the universe. I believe in it. I'm convinced about it. The universe must have a creator. Okay. What's happening now? A simple example, the hen is giving eggs. The trees are producing fruit, vegetables, so that. Anyways, the things are the source of existence of the next step existence. It means cause and effect. Cause is the creator. So this is where shirk, assigning power to other beings beside the creator of the universe, is inevitable with one condition. If we don't pay attention to the things and live with them, you are the signs introducing, declaring, making tasbih of the qualities of the creator and introducing their creator to us. If we don't pay attention to it and just keep driving your life car, your life, without paying attention what is going on in the world and what do they mean, and then it is inevitable, even if you say that I believe in God, without falling into shirk. These verses are really very important and we have to take it seriously. Dr. Rajati, I would like to hear your comment.
Yeah, I think I want to give an example. It's really amazing when, let's say, if you walk by a tree and it's an apple tree, but strangely, you see it start to grow phone, and you wait for a while and you go and you see it's iPhone. So, and you see Apple tree actually giving an iPhone, you will be shocked. You will pay attention. You will try to see what's going on. Now and then you see, oh, that iPhone has a seed you can plant and become a tree and again give you iPhone. You're not gonna say, oh, this is normal. Let's call it this an iPhone tree, not an Apple tree. And this is naturally giving an iPhone. Because you know it's impossible for a tree to make an iPhone. So therefore you say there must be miraculous power that actually making iPhone and attaching to the tree. Now the reality is Apple is billion times more complex than iPhone. When we see apple attached to the tree, and if we just say it's natural, the tree making an apple is naturally growing. So now we are given this miraculous sign of God, this miraculous act of God to the causes or the nature. And that's how we, in a way, say, where is God? Where is the sign of God? I don't see him. So I think I love the way that ayah end with the mushrikun and say essentially, you don't see the sign because you attribute these miraculous things to your nonsense concept like a nature, like a seed, like a DNA, like the cause, and therefore you don't see that. So I think in a modern time, in a way that this is what the education is all about, to take away sign of God and attribute them to laws, to forces, to the seed, to the DNA, to the causes, and there is no room for God. So that's why I really, really like this. And I particularly want you to reflect on this phrase called, وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِدُونَ. It doesn't say غافلون. It could say غافلون, but it says معرضون. So I wonder what would you say in terms of the word choice here, saying مغردون rather than غافلون? It's not like just you go pass by and you're not aware. It seems like there is a deliberate turning away from the sign. I want to
Definitely,
hear from you.
definitely. معرضون. Of course, it is a word, عرض. عرض is it's so interesting to present something. But arada an means turn back. It's just the opposite. That is the secret of Arabic grammar with the harpage or whatever. So turning back, turning blind. I don't want to see it. I don't want to learn it. I know how to drive, and I'm driving my life without paying attention to the traffic light, traffic signs, saying that I am doing it. So if we don't really pay, if we don't really pay to the creation, uh, then we are bound to fall into shirk. To get examples from it and benefit from it. Shall we move forward?
Yes. Next slide.
Here. This one, let me see, Elam Tara, inshallah, this is Elam Tara. No, all right, all right. Oh, it is here. I made a mistake. Okay, this one. Okay, let's read.
ألم تر أن الفلك تجري في البحر بنعمة الله ليريكم من آياته إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور.
Now, this verse, Dr. Najati, is interesting. There are many verses in the Quran mentions about samawat, art, nebata, plants, animals, fruits especially. But this verse says sheep. But I think you have many things to say about it, many points to say about it, Dr. Najati. Sheep is human-made, isn't it? What do you
Yes.
think?
I think that's why it's really amazing that we normally say Allah will talks about what's God-made things. Why he talks, this is a man-made great invention of that time. Why Allah is taking credit for this one?
Yeah. Yeah, why do you think? So, isn't that man-made? Uh,
When I reflect on this, when I say this is applied to everything, this is applied to car and airplane and everything that is man-made. But the Quran is referring this as the blessing of Allah, as not human ingenuity or human creativity. It doesn't use that. It's really the phrase that here it is the ni'matillah. It's
no,
ni'matillah.
no. It is interesting. During the Prophet's time, when the revelation first started, it was human-made, amazing thing, the ship. But when you say, why doesn't Quran leave the airplane? It is, of course, an example of an airplane. The ship in the Quran is mentioned in this way as to be the sign of the Creator, as a representative of all human-made things. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's really it's the phrase when I look at this ayah. First, it says "alam tara." We know the "alam tara kayfa." So "alam tara" is don't you see? Don't you look? Are you blind? Therefore, it's like this. Starting is very interesting, and then "alam tara" and full category. And again, the ships move fil bahr. Now, في بحر بنعمة الله. When I read that, when I say in school. We say the ship actually moving the sea with the buoyancy. And we have this concept, we say this is the law of buoyancy and this is how it works. But doesn't Allah know what buoyancy is? Why he's not mentioning buoyancy here? Why is saying that is actually it's moving بِنِعْمَةِ. Why it's that? I really want to hear from you. It's really, I mean, because to me, this gives us an amazing perspective of how we're supposed to look at those laws and principles that taught in school as if those laws are doing something, as if the forces are doing something, while the Quran is not mentioning them. And and very explicitly say, no, no, it's actually Allah is doing that. It's His blessing. I really want to hear from you what is your take on this?
So the what we call laws is nothing but what we are experiencing in creation, because it is in orderly arranged. This order doesn't seem to be changing. Yes, doesn't change. Uh, uh, it is amazing. I keep repeating this point. The order seems to be not changing. Yes, not changing, because otherwise we would not benefit from the creation. That is a perfect uh, adjustment between human capacity, conscious being, and observer, and what we are observing now. But at the same time, everything keeps changing within this order. And also, everything keeps changing. For example, a baby is born and he or she grows, and orderly change. We are accustomed with it, and we start naming that. For example, now it is 3 years old. Our child, our baby, now start speaking. But it was there in the creation there already. We make a rule there. A child starts speaking, well, not three, most of them start speaking at the age of 1, or it doesn't matter. We make a law. Every time we see that, for example, I turn my faucet on, water runs. I say, this is the law. If someone asks me, if someone asks me, for example, Dr. Najati is visiting me, inshallah, one day he will again, as usual. And can I have some water, Ali, Dr. Ali or Ali? I say, yeah, you can go to the faucet and get it. I guarantee it. Because faucet, when it is turned in this way, has to give water by itself. This is the law. Now, if you drop something, if you leave something in the air, it drops. Law. So the law. But law is how, of course, scientists, serious thinking scientists always say that, especially quantum scientists always say that mechanical understanding of the world is wrong. Why? There is no such thing existing apart from the way the things are. There is, for example, there is a stone and there is also a gravity law existing here. They say that very reasonable, there is no law existing. Now, but the way it is applied, we name it law. Laws are just what we name how the order of the universe is arranged, created, and presented to us.
So in
That
other
is the
words,
summary.
the law is the regularity we observe in the act of creation. Using your analogy, if I visit your house and if you have breakfast always at 9 a.m. and dinner as, let's say, 7 p.m., and then I call it, oh, the law of breakfast in this house is having the breakfast at 9 a.m. That that doesn't mean the law make breakfast. That only means that the host regularly serve breakfast at 9 a.m. And since it's always 9 a.m., or we call the law of breakfast in this house. So that is what we understand in this regard, I think.
The law
In,
of practice. So when you said in previously the example of the cell, or the DNA, sorry, what now is in which one is more sophisticated, which one is more really admirable? DNA, one DNA, and iPhone. Who knows
for sure.
biology? So
Yeah.
you can write maybe a short book, the rules how the iPhone works. But you can write about DNA, volumes of volumes, and you never get to the end. No, the way it functions, the way it is arranged, the information it includes. I don't know whether, of course, I'm not a scientist at all, but they say in one DNA, the information is recorded, which makes 100 volumes of encyclopedia. Who wrote it? And in this encyclopedia, none of the information is wrong. And every DNA has its own 100 something volumes of information of encyclopedia. So, but isn't that so important to read the DNA as a blessings of Allah rather than saying that it is producing you? You are nothing but grown up out of DNA because DNA itself makes you. As if the laptop or computer programming is made by its material side, materials, computer, machine materials, as if.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Ali, let's go back to, oh, the time is really running. Let's go back to the ayah again, and because we have little time left. So this ayah, I think what I was, was traveling, that's first time it got to my attention because it says here, not only talks about the ship is move on the water with the blessing of Allah, then it says we give this blessing li yuriyakum min ayatihi. We give this blessing to you that you travel and see among his sign. Now, when I read that one, it was shocking for me. I was saying like, oh, that means everywhere I go, Allah expect me to see his signs. Because everywhere I go, there are some new sign and I haven't seen. That this eye is saying, I create the airplane for you, a car for you, sheep for you. As you travel, that you're gonna see the sign and you're gonna connect to me. And I said, that's like we're taking wrong. People go and travel, take a selfie, and go and promote themselves. And you're supposed to do, according to this ayah, wherever you go, take the picture of the sign, share in your social media account, and have people to praise the one that the signs point to, not to you. And that is to me is truly, truly amazing that how the ayah refer to that.
So instead of taking the sheep example here, it's a representative, as you say, representative of human-made thing. When I go and drive my car, do you think it is my ship now?
I think
See
so.
that Allah is showing me His signs in the existence of the car. And
Right.
when I use my telephone, which always use it, so it's a sign. Have I have I ever thought? Have I ever thought iPhone is a sign of Allah? Have I ever thought? Or anything, and anything that we are using human-made things. So inshallah, we will go through this kind of ayats a lot so that we will train ourselves, get used to how we should benefit from the creation as signs of the blessings of Allah in the creation.
Including so-called man-made one, right? So
Anything.
yeah, so I call it the man discovered one, not really man-made, because it's meant for us, and someone work hard to just discover, and that is sign as well.
Yeah. Because we are encountering, for example, those people who live in the big cities. We are encountering almost 80, 90% of our daily life man-made artificial beings, creation. So we have to train even more. When we, of course, every day we are experiencing blessings of Allah in our life. So when we say Bismillah Rahman Rahim before we start eating, that is perfect. But it is not only that. Before starting, before we start eating, the saying Bismillah before we start eating, while we are re-eating, while we are drinking, we have to see the signs in their creation. And at the same time, all the machines and other tools, man-made things we use, we have to uh, see them as blessings of Allah, as His signs, reminding us. So, inshallah, we will learn how to remember Allah when I drive, how to remember Allah when I use my computer, for example. Inshallah. Shall we move
So,
to
yeah, yeah. I
what
think before that,
about
I'm gonna launch the poll question to hear from
God?
our audience, and then we will move to the next one, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So look at the screen, please. There is a question for you on what we discussed. When you see a beautiful butterfly, what shall you say? Wow, it is beautiful. MashaAllah, it is beautiful. Or MashaAllah, it's beautifully created butterfly. Or all of the above. Let's see. So it seems like people are, yeah, so we got some choose B as well. And a lot choose C. And some actually things all above is okay. Okay. So it's an anonymous survey. We're not going to release your name. Feel free to speak your mind. So we just want to see what you think on that. We've been discussing this for quite a while. So to see what you think. Okay. Yes, I think so. Can close it now. We got from good number of individual. I'm gonna close the poll. If you're gonna answer, please do it right away. It's not difficult one. Okay. Yes.
Can I make a comment
Yes,
before
please. Please,
you?
please go ahead. Yes.
Yes, those friends uh, marked or whatever has chosen D. All of the above are good. Now, of course, I know their intention is first we start realizing the beauty in the creation. We say, wow, it is beautiful. Then, with the guidance of revelation, the practical wisdom culture, we say, mashallah, it is beautiful. That is also correct, but the after learning from the revelation, we understand that, see, mashallah, that is correct. We have to say, mashallah, as God wills this butterfly to be so. It is a beautiful beautifully created butterfly connecting beauty to its creator. This is the final stage. I would say, Dr. Najati, what do you say? All these A, B stages are practical life. And we have to end up with C. Correct or not?
Yeah, I think I agree, but the issue here is to know the differences. The difference,
Oh,
as you mentioned, in the first stage when you say, wow, it's beautiful, you see the beauty, but you're not really mentioning the source. The second one, when you say, mashallah, you say it happened with the will of Allah. So you're making connection, but you're still giving the beauty to the butterfly as if the beauty is granted to the butterfly. But at the third stage, you look at the butterfly as a mirror and you don't see the beauty of butterfly. You see the beauty of the names of Allah manifested in the butterfly. And therefore, you're emphasizing, mashallah, it's a beautifully created butterfly. So the act of creation is the source and a clear sign of the beauty. Therefore, I think the sea should be the goal for us to accomplish.
okay. Let's go. Thank you very much. It is a meaningful poll, actually. Let's go here. Now, this one and this one. All right. I think we don't have much time, but we can read it if you like.
I think just reading will be good because we don't have time to reflect. Let's
Okay.
read because this is very deeply and nicely written, inshallah. You can read and then everyone can reflect on it, inshallah.
Well, please read it. It's a summary. I would like you to read it. Your pronunciation is much better than mine. Please go ahead.
Okay.
They are
Okay.
all foreigners, anyways. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Human life is a journey in which we are entrusted with two profound books, the Quran and the universe. Each day we compose our own commentary book up on their pages. Before us stand two paths, two fundamentally different ways of reading with two different lenses. Either we see the universe as a vast collection of signs, allowing every encounter to lead us back to its source, or we regard things as self-sufficient realities and like and praise them for their own sake. Consider a flower. When we simply say it's beautiful, we confine beauty to its object itself. But when we say it's beautifully created, we trace that beauty back to its source. The difference is subtle in wording, yet profound in meaning. One statement ends with the material side of the universe, the other rises, praises to its creator. Next one. In the Tawhidi lens or reading, life becomes filled with remembrance of our Creator. Every flowers become a sign of artistry and love. Every meal become a sign of provision and care. praise flows upward, and our days are saturated with gratitude. Reading the book of the universe through the guidance of the Quran moves us beyond mere material description. We begin to discern meaning, recognizing beauty, wisdom, order, and benefit as reflections of the quality of the Creator rather than material elements of beings with no meaning and purpose. In the second reading, a purely secular lens may analyze elements, atoms, movements, and properties, yet remain blind to the significance they point toward. Praise then settles upon the objects themselves. The flower is admired for its own beauty. The food is celebrated for its taste alone. Gradually, life becomes a continuous chase of things, experiences, attentions, possessions, because meaning is confined to what is seen by biological eye only, not by spiritual heart's eye. The heart attached to the gift but forgets the giver. Thus, the choice we face each day is clear. Either we read existence as a continuous revelation of signs and live a life filled with the praise of the Creator and enjoy great feeling as if we are in the presence of Allah, or we read existence as a collection of independent objects and live a life filled with praise and pursuit of the things themselves. Our choice determines whether the book of our life become a record of remembrance of our Creator or a record of attachment of transient worlds.
Inshallah, a record of remembrance of our Creator. That concludes our discussion today, and tomorrow, inshallah, we will carry on the definitions of the Quran. Inshallah.
Okay.
Can
Yeah.
we
Thank you.
close it? We
Yeah,
are
I think.
only 2 minutes
Yeah,
left.
I think so. Thank you very much, everyone, and inshallah, well, let's hear the dua from you, and then we close it with dua as we do always.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.
See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام. See you tomorrow, inshallah.